what you just heard was a bunch of stereo effects going into not 2 amps, but going into this. I haven't had this much fun in a long time. What is up, YouTube? My name is Buddy Blues, and we're looking at the Milkman The Amp Stereo today. The Amp Stereo is the newest amp from Milkman Sound. Let me explain this in the simplest. There's been several demos, but let me explain this in the way I got it, in the way I got to experience it for the first time, because this has been blowing my mind for a couple of weeks now. Here's what this is. In the simplest of terms, this is 2 amps in one, capable to run at about 100 watts. 140 in some instances, we'll get into that in a second. But this is 2 100-watt amps in one. Now, immediately you might be thinking, okay, cool, so you get a chance to like run one hot and the other and like switch between the... No, it's cooler. What this is they run simultaneously. You can run them individually, sure, but they run simultaneously. And the way they do it is the top is left, the left amp, and its cab, we'll get to that in a second, and the bottom rack here, the bottom row here, is right. R stands for right, and that's your right amp and cab. Now, again, we run into another problem. Well, how am I gonna run this? Number one, Mr. Buddy Blues, I don't have 2 cabinets, 2 different cabinets. No problem. Well, Mr. Buddy Blues, I do have 2 cabinets. In fact, I have 18. Good for you, kind sir, or ma'am. But none of them match. One is 4 ohms, one is 8 ohms, and one is 16 ohms. I can't run this 2 speaker outs from the bottom. I can't do that. Yes, you can. Not a problem. You can run, which what I've been doing, because I only have 2 cabs. I have a PRS 112 cab with the mini Hendrix, that's too far, with the mini Hendrix amp thing, the Hendrix 20, right? That's a 112 16 ohm cab, closed back. I have a Fender cab that has 2 Celestion creambacks, 212 open back, and that one is 8 ohms. So I can never really run my Hendrix amp, for example, my PRS Hendrix amp, into any other cab that I own, because I just have 2 cabs. God forbid I want to run anything else into that cab, that stereo, and run amp stereo, because I've been having a blast with stereo. This solves all of these problems, and then some. Mr. Buddy Blues, I have 2 amps, and whenever I turn them on in stereo together, I get this ground hummy noise. No problem, there's a ground lift. Mr. Buddy Blues, follow-up question if you don't mind. I have 2 amps, 2 cabs, everything's matching and it's great. Lovely. However, when I run my pedal board in stereo, it doesn't sound the same as when I run it in mono. It sounds thin. hey, no problem. Because we have a phase switch right here. Some pedals invert the phase of the chain. It's inherent. They just invert the phase. And when that happens, you get a very thin sounding, supposed to put a drive. It's very thin sounding. It's anemic. Your drive has a lot of body, but now it doesn't. Problem solved. We see another button here called sum. And what that does is it sums it to mono. Meaning, if, like I was playing in the mini and like I will play in a second, if I've got a delay the delay that I have, the stereo delay right now, is too much. I don't care. It's fun. You just heard it. It's fun. But it's too much in a mix or in whatever. But I'm playing for this and I'm playing by myself to have fun right now. So it's got too much left and too much right going on. Sometimes I want to calm that down, hit the sum button, and it sums your whole chain into mono. But it's still going into 2 different cabs. Buddy Blues, I have one final question for you, my kind friend. Hey, no worries, sir. What's your question? I don't have a single cab. I don't have a single amp. How am I gonna run this? Precisely how I'm running it. You see, on the back, we've got your 2, let me hide my face a bit, your 2 speaker outs. This is kind of confusing, ladies and gentlemen, because I've got the thing upside down. Don't worry about it. You've got your 2 speaker outs, left and right. They run independently, they run at the same time, mismatching cabs, whatever you like. Okay, we get it. Right here, right here, we have a balanced out. What does that mean? That means you can run this thing direct into whatever the heck you want. interface, that's what I'm doing today. You want to run it into your interface and into your DAW, that's exactly what I just did. You want to run it directly into the front of house, you can do that. Now you're thinking, how am I going to do that if there's no cabs? Ladies and gentlemen, there's cab sim. Now, suppose you don't like that cap sim and you have that little pedal, that little Oxbox pedal, for example, the little pedal they just came out with that has a bunch of cabs in it. Or you want to use your own IRs, no problem, turn it off. Turn the simulator off, the cab sim off, and then just run it out from your balance out to 2 speakers or to your thing, really, to your IR thing, IR loader. And from that, run to 2 different speakers, run to 2 different whatever you want. I have never in my life thought that I would ever enjoy stereo or any of that. I never got it. But I do now. It's so much fun. I know I'm talking a lot. I'm sorry. I'll put things in bottom or just find where I start playing. But it's so much fun. If you've never done stereo, I beg you to do it. I beg you to do it. It's the biggest sound you can have. You've got delays and chorus and harmonic tremolo, which is what I have, and reverb, all of those running in stereo right now. So let's hear this again. I'm going to play the same pedal board. This one, I'll put it here somewhere. And I want you to really focus on how much this amp is doing. And this amp, by the way, runs clean for a lot. If you run it 4 ohms, you get 140 watts. If you run it 8 ohms, you get 100 watts, I think. And if you run it 16, you get something like 50 watts each. I may be wrong. 50 watts each totals 100 watts. I may be wrong on all of the above. Check the specs. I'm going to run this directly into my Apollo interface. I'm going to run my stereo pedal board before it. There's going to be a whole video on that stereo pedal board in a second. Don't worry. And we're going to have just some pure, honest stereo fun. And it's going to be lovely. Let's get to it. Oh, big boy. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you have now heard the amp stereo from Milkman Sound. This is, I think, one of the coolest things I've ever gotten my hands on. And this is no lie. I've had a blast with this. I've had the time of my life playing this because I don't bother anybody. I like to play loud. You like to play loud. We all like to play loud. I don't bother anybody when I'm playing this because I can control so much. And I don't have to worry about, oh, tube saturation needs to be, I don't have to worry about any of that because this is just, it does the thing, and it does the thing on its own, and it's loud enough. And if I really don't want to bother anybody, one final thing that I kind of forgot to tell you, headphones out. And your headphones always have a TRS cable at the end of tip, ring, sleeve, right? The two lines on the thing. You know what TRS is. So that goes in. Now you have left and right. People, I really hope you used headphones for this video. If you didn't, that's okay. I forgive you. It's Christmas. We forgive each other now. But I encourage you to go back and listen to at least the parts, the playing parts in stereo. I really want you to listen with headphones, I mean, so that you can really get the full stereo and to see what this amp can do. If this was your first time on the channel, welcome. If it's not, welcome back. My name is Buddy Blues. Thank you so much for having me here on your screen today? Am I on your phone or am I on the TV? Some people watch me on an Xbox. You think I don't have these analytics? I do. You watch me, you're in the bathroom right now. You're in the bathroom. I'm in the bathroom with you right now. How does that make you feel? Please like, share, subscribe if you enjoyed this. I'm not an ambient guy. I'm not an ambient player, but you don't have to be. You don't have to be. A lot of people run different amps and stereos. Sometimes Eric Johnson does that too. So you don't have to be the ambient, typical like stuff. It's fun, but you don't have to be to get this. You can gig the out of this. Believe me, you can. Because you can take your cabs or you can take an FRFR, those speakers made for guitars. Anyway, I swear to God, I can talk about this for 7 hours, so I'm just gonna stop. Thank you so much for joining me today. I have been Buddy Blues. You have been the people of the blues. Until next time, thank you for watching.